السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على السلام حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد إن أصدق حديث كتاب الله عز وجل وأحسن حدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر أمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة في الإسلام بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. All praise is due to Allah and may the afdal salatu salam be on Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala azwajihi wa dhurriyatihi wa ala baytihi. Amma ba'd. As would follow my dear brother Salam Iman, today I would like to be speaking about something which might seem to us a virtual reality or something that we cannot imagine or understand. But The topic that I'd like to speak about today is of extreme importance, but the problem is the majority of us are very heedless of this fact in reality. So I'd like to touch on today, Bidnillah, Billahi Tawfiq. Because many of us, as we all know, as we get older, and we should be getting wiser, are concerned for our loved ones, our families, our wives, our children. Alhamd. That is very good, and that is of utmost necessity. But the problem is, while a lot of us are concerned about our wives and our children, we forget about ourselves. And Allah Azza wa Jal reminding us, Khatam lil Mu'mineen, reminding us, addressing the believers, He has said very explicitly in His book, Ya ayyuhalladhina aminu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara wa khudha an-nas wal hijara. Allah Azza wa Jal says, O you who have attained faith, O you who believe. When Allah Azza wa Jal says this, we should pay very close attention. O you who believe, save yourselves and your families from the hellfire. Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Allah Azza wa Jal says, starting with yourselves, save yourselves and your families from the hellfire. Khudhuhu nas wal hijara, whose fuel is men and stones. Ibn Mas'ud, radhiyallahu anhu, he has stated, whenever Allah Azza wa Jal, He starts the ibara, the sentence structure, by saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina aminu, O you who have attained faith, then that means Allah Azza wa Jal, He is drawing our attention to something. That He is alerting us to something. He is warning us of something, and He's drawing our attention to something of utmost importance. Something that we should do or something that we should avoid at all costs. So the meaning of save yourselves and your families from the hellfire is that we should turn ourselves away from this hellfire. And we should turn our families away from the hellfire. So the topic of today's khutbah will be just that. What are the various ways that we can implement into our lives and impart to our families how we can save ourselves from the hellfire? What are the ways? What are the means? What are the many turuq, the many paths that we can take to save ourselves from the hellfire? The first thing I would like to remind us is a very important ayat in Surah Mu'minun, where Allah Azza wa Jalla says, Surah Mu'minun, ayat number 101 to 103, where Allah Azza wa Jalla says, فَإِذَا نُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ فَلَا أَنْسَابَ بَيْنَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ وَلَا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ فِي جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدُونَ. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, إِذَا نُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ. And what is this that Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling us about? When the trumpet is blown, there's an angel that we have to understand that there are many angels, but there's an angel from the moment Allah Azza wa Jalla created the heavens and the earth. It's what I feel. He's holding the trumpet to his mouth and waiting for the order of Allah Azza wa Jal to blow the trumpet for one time. And that first blowing of the trumpet is when everything in the heavens and the earth will die, pass away. And the second blowing of the trumpet is when everything will be raising up from their death and running towards Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal says, فَلَا أَنْسَابْ يَوْمَئِذٍ وَلَا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ. There will be no kith and kindred. There will be no ansab, no family relations on that day. When we're raised from our graves, there will be no family relations. And Allah Azza wa Jal says, furthermore, to emphasize this point, هُمْ لَا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ. Nobody will be asking about one another. Right now, we should be very concerned about ourselves and our loved ones, our kith and kin, our wives, our children, and so on and so forth. Right now, while we're alive and well. Because when we reach to that moment, then there will be no ansab baina. There will be no looking after our loved ones on that day. There will be no asking about our loved ones on that day. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentions this. فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينَهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. So whoever scales are heavy on that day, then they are successful. وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينَهُ. So whoever scales are light, فَأُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ فِي جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدُونَ. Then they are the ones who have damned their own selves into Jahannam, into the hellfire, where they will abide. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says very clearly in these sets of ayats, what is the way to success? The way to benefit ourselves. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينَهُ. Whosever scales are heavy with what? Allah Azza wa Jalla, He explains to us that those of us who have taken the time out in this life to make their scales heavy, then this is a conditional clause in this ayat. Those whose scales are heavy, then they are the ones who have succeeded. They are humul muflihun, Allah Azza wa Jalla says. It is they who will be successful. Which means, even if our deeds are heavier than our bad deeds, our good deeds outweigh our bad deeds by even one, as Allah Azza wa Jalla says in another ayah, mithqala dharra. Whosever scales are heavy by even the weight of an ant or a mustard seed, then we'll be successful. So we have to understand, my dear Salam and Iman, that this thing that we're speaking about, being successful in the next life, is all resting on what we do in this life. So I want us to put on our virtual reality goggles that they have now, so many places where they're taking our young ones into a virtual reality, and a lot of them are lost into that. I want us to put on this virtual reality and look at ourselves and picture ourselves standing now at the Sirat, which Allah Azza wa Jal has spoken about. This is a bridge, a Sirat, over the hellfire. This is a bridge that all of mankind must cross. All of mankind must cross over this bridge over the hellfire. Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned, إِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا كَانَ عَلَى رَبِّكَ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا ثُمَّ نَنَجِّيَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا وَنَذَرَ الظَّالِمِينَ فِيهَا جَثِيًّا. Sadaq Allah. There is not one of us except that we must cross over this Sirat, over Jahannam. And this is had. This is a decree from Allah that must be fulfilled. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla says, ثُمَّ نَجِّيَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا. Allah Azza wa Jalla will save those who had taqwa. Not at that time, at this time. Those of us who are trying to live by taqwa in this life, then bi'idhnillah, Allah Azza wa Jal will rescue those people on that day. رَبَّنَا جَعَلْنَا مِنْهُمْ. Ameen. And the ulama, Rabbaniyun, they have differed as to the real nature of this Sirat over Jahannam. How is it? Because there are so many narrations regarding this bridge over the hellfire. I'll just now mention a few of the narrations, the authentic narrations. There are many narrations in all of the Kutub Sitta. But there are some authentic narrations that we must be acquainted with. For example, there's a hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim who say that the Prophet ﷺ said that this Sirat over Jahannam is slippery. It's slippery. It's not smooth. It's slippery. It's elusive, and it has hooks on the sides of this bridge with grapples, and it has broad spikes. On top of that, it's slippery. It has hooks and it has broad spikes with curved thorns on the sides of the bridge. Also, the hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim and Surah Abu Hurairah anhu, that the Prophet said that these hooks are trying to seize people who are trying to cross over the bridge. and they will seize people according to their deeds. This Sirat, my dear Salam Iman, is very narrow. It is slippery, and it is something which is elusive, that is hard to navigate and get past and get across. There's a hadith for the Abbasir al-Qudri, in which he said that the bridge is sharper than a sword and it is thinner than a hair. Allahu Akbar. The bridge that is overstretched over Jahannam is sharper than a sword and is thinner than a hair. The question, my dear Salam Iman, that we all need to ask ourselves while we're in this virtual reality of picturing ourselves standing at the Sirat over Jahannam. Do we believe right now that we have the deeds strong enough to bring us across? Can any of us say that we'll be safe? La. None of us should ever think for a moment in this life that we have the deeds strong enough to bring us across the Sirat over Jahannam. No, none of us. The only one who feels safe is the munafiq, the hypocrite. The believers, they never feel safe. They never feel safe. Because there's an authentic hadith that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said that the only people who will be able to cross over that Sirat over Jahannam are the believers. Faqat. That's it. Nobody else. The only people, the only class and category of people that will be able to cross over the Sirat over Jahannam are the believers. And this hadith is on the authority of Abu Hurairah anhu. This hadith is Sahih in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. And we have to remember, my brothers in Iman, we have to understand and we have to keep this in mind, that Allah Azza wa Jalla said, ثُمَّ نَجْيَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He will najin min an-nar. And we have to say this to Allahumma jarna min an-nar. Oh Allah, save us and protect us from the hellfire. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, ثُمَّ نَجْيَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا. The Allah Azza wa Jalla, He will rescue, He will save those people who used to have taqwa in this life. So this is the key to our salvation. To get through this life and to cross the Sirat in the next life is that we have taqwa. And taqwa isn't something of lip service. Taqwa is something of speech, action, and intention. It's hadith in Sahih Bukhari. And for the Abbasir al-Qudri, and Abu Hurairah who said that the believers will cross the bridge. Some of them will cross fast like a blink of an eye. Allahu Akbar. Rabbana ja'alna minhum. Ameen. May Allah make us of them. Some of them will cross like a bolt of lightning, very quick. Some will cross like the wind. Some will cross like men on a journey. Some will cross like a bird. Some will cross like fast galloping horses. And some will cross fast as camels. And the Prophet ﷺ said that some will be safe and secure. And some people, referring to the believers, will be scratched by the hooks. But they will be delivered and they will cross, although they will be scratched. And others will be dragged and they will fall into the hellfire. Nas'Allah al-afiyah. So the point is, my dear Salam and Iman, is that none of us should feel safe and secure within ourselves. That we have done enough, that we have enough deeds, and we're so pious. We prayed, Alhamdulillah, Ramadan comes, we fasted. But in between all of that, what have we done? Remember the Prophet ﷺ, he said that there will be a person who comes on Yawm al-Qiyamah with amthal kajibal hasanat. He will have a mountain size of good deeds. But kajshatama hadha, wa dharaba hadha, wa khadha mala hadha. Ila akhir hadith. That he cursed this person, he hit this person, he took the wealth of this person wrongly. So what will happen? The people who he abused, and this very pious man, he had a mountain size of hasanat. But because he did all of these things, then the people will take from that person's what? Hasanat. Until the person faniyat, he will be empty. He will have no more of those good deeds. And then the sayyat, the sins of those people who he abused, he ripped off, he cursed, will be added to his account. And as a result, he will be in the hellfire. Nas'Allah al-afiyah wa thabat. So it's very important, my dear brothers and Iman, that we try and build up good deeds in this life. Because the way we'll be able to cross over the Sirat, over Jahannam, is according to our implementation of the deen. The more we are quick to implement the deen, Sami'na wa atana, we hear and obey. The quicker we are to hear, istami al-qawl wa yattabi'un ahsana. Those of us who hear the truth and we follow the best thereof. Those of us who quick when we hear the truth, we say, Sami'na wa atana. We hear and we obey. Not Sami'na wa asayna. We hear and we disobey. Those of us who, when we hear the truth, are kind of, mashallah, inshallah, it sounds good. I'll try to do it. I'll get around to it. Those people who are laggards, are slow at accepting the truth, are fulfilling the commandments, they will have a very difficult time at crossing that bridge. So whenever we hear the truth presented to us, قال Allah, قال Rasulullah, قال Sahabatu, this is how mafhum Sahaba, and we should say Sami'na wa atana. We shouldn't be a laggard and we shouldn't be slow when it comes to the truth. Some of us are quick to accept the truth. رَبْنَا جَعَلَ مِنْهُمْ اللهم amin. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us of those who are quick to accept the truth. But those who are slow, now is the time to correct yourself. Now is the time to be quick to accept the truth. Because why are we doing this? Ridwan Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whoever is slow at accepting the truth, now is the time to pick up the pace. Pick up the pace. And whenever we hear the truth, let us be of those who say, Sami'na wa atana. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله وأتوب إليه. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه الهدى وبعد. So let us end off with a very important verse in Surah Hadid, number 12 to 13, Bidnillah, which will sum up all of what we have spoken about at the beginning of our khutbah. For those who come in late, inshallah, these two ayahs in Surah Hadid should sum up everything for us. And we've been speaking about what? The importance of saving ourselves. Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina aminu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara wa khudha an-nas wal hijara. O you who have attained faith, O you who believe, save yourselves and your families from the fire of hell, whose fuel is men and stones. And we are talking about how, what are the ways, what are the means for us to be able to cross over that bridge, over the hellfire. This virtual reality journey that we're on right now is that I want us to picture ourselves on that bridge, standing at the edge of the bridge, and the other end of the bridge leads to the door of paradise. How are we going to cross? Allah explains it very clearly in this surah, Surah Hadid, ayat number 12 to 13. يوم ترى المؤمنين والمؤمنات يسعى نورهم بين أيديهم وبأيمانهم بشراكم اليوم جنات تجري من تحت الأنهار خالدين فيها ذلك هو الفوز العظيم يوم يقولون المنافقين والمنافقات للذين آمنوا انظرونا نقتسم من نوركم قيل ارجوا وراءكم والتمسوا نورا. Allah Azza wa Jalla says very explicitly and clearly in this set of ayats, on the day we shall see the believing men and women, and may Allah make us of them. Ameen. Their lights will be bright and shining in front of them. And on the right side and on the left side, Jannah, gardens underneath which rivers flow, to dwell therein forever. This is the supreme success. And then Allah says, on that day when the munafiqeen wal munafiqat, the hypocrites, men and women, because we all know that there are some two-faced people who like to hang out with the believers and give them those bad suggestions. They know that you're a Muslim, you're practicing Muslim. Even in your family, you're going to find people who are trying to lead you astray. That's a little afiyah. Allah says, on that day you'll see the hypocrites, men and women. They'll say, wait, Wait for us. Let us get some of your light, some of your nur. The believer will say, go back and look for your own light. And what is this nur? What is this light that Allah is referring to? It is the light of our good deeds. The good deeds that we have done in this life will be our light on the bridge. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, has stated regarding this, he said that we, the believers, oh Allah, make us of the believers, Ameen, will be able to cross that sirat over Jahannam, which is sharper than a sword and thinner than a hair, according to our deeds. Some of us will have light as big or as huge as a mountain. Allahu Akbar. Some of us will have light like a date tree. Some of us will have light as big as a man in a standing position. Some of us will have light that is just at the tip of their index finger. Some of us will have light which is flickering on and off. And everyone will be giving a light from Allah Ta'ala. All of the believers. This is exclusive for the believers. All of the believers will be giving a light, nur, so as to be able to cross over the bridge over Jahannam. Now is our chance, my dear brother, Salam Iman. And this is a guide from Allah that will guide us across the bridge to the door of Jannah. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give us the tawfiq and give us the ability and make us of those who, when we hear yastami al-qawl fayattabi'un ahsana, and whenever we hear the good words, we practice the best thereof. However, the hypocrites, their light will be extinguished. The hypocrites, the munafiqeen, the two-faced light of pretenders, the lights will be extinguished and they will be in darkness. When we're risen up from our graves, my dear Salam Iman, we'll be in darkness. And Allah Azza wa Jalla will send light for us, to the believers, according to the level of our Iman. Remember, my dear Salam Iman, that our deeds will carry us across the Sirat. As quick as we are right now, when we are quick and ready to accept the truth right now, that's how quick and easy it will be for us to get across the Sirat over Jahannam on that time. There's a very, very important hadith that I want us to keep in mind. This hadith is in Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim, and authority of Abu Hatim, who said that I heard the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam saying, Allah Ta'ala will surely speak to each and every one of us without an interpreter. And the person will look to his right side and he will see nothing but his deeds that he has done before in this life. And he will look to his left side and he will see nothing but his deeds which he has done before. And he will look in front of him and he will see nothing but the hellfire facing him. So protect yourself from the hellfire, if it's even with half a date. And if you can't find half a date, then with a kind word. Kalimatin tayyib. Every one of us, my dear Salam Iman, has the ability, especially in this land of milk and honey and affluence, to do good to benefit ourselves at that time. Whatever we do good now will be that thing that will help us. That will be our nur to cross the Sirat over Jahannam. So may Allah Azza wa Jal bless all of us and guide all of us and keep us safe and keep our families safe. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless us and give us that insight, that hindsight, and that foresight to understand that we have to try and save ourselves and our families from the hellfire. May Allah Azza wa Jal keep us safe and keep our families safe and give us the insight and the amal salih to cross over the bridge over Jahannam. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Inna Allah wa malaikatu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Sallu ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim. Innaka hamidun majid. Allahumma barak ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة وقنا عذاب النار.